You may not be able to see me well just yet, so I'll keep this intro brief. But that is an unforgettable way to wake up, with the sun rising just beyond that mountain range there. I'll just let that soak in, because you can probably only see a silhouette of me now. But wow. Gateway to the Sahara was Agdz, about an hour and a half in that direction. Somewhere over there, the start, just behind me, the sand dunes of the Sahara. I can just hear dogs barking, cockerels cockerelling, cats frantically doing something, and the birds singing in all of these palm trees here. It's incredible. I'm right at the top of this Riad, so I'll give you a quick top to bottom, front to back of this place because it's incredible. The sunrise is still just over there and everyone's got up to start enjoying it. And interestingly, this behind us is the largest palm grove in Northern Africa, I think. So this is 100 kilometers this stretches for, which is incredible. It just sits in a valley and it goes on seemingly forever. So this is the top floor with what I've now discovered is the best sunrise. Coming down here, I love these places because you've got all of these different sections where you can just have a bit of solitude if you fancy it. I'll flip the camera. We've got the whole place to ourselves, so you really can find your own little spot. You can see loads of people down there just enjoying the view with the pool. View out there to the mountains. It's quite easy to get lost in here. So I'm not there. There. That's where I need to get. So I think it must be downstairs. Little area, you have these everywhere. Area for tea there, so you've got the standard little teapot that will have the green tea and enough glasses for about half the team there, with these beautiful Moroccan rugs everywhere. Little hall area where all the bedrooms are around. And downstairs, coming through to the main area. With a little water feature in the middle. Seating around and everyone outside enjoying the view. And finally, this little area with a vintage old record player. I remember this method of building from last time I was in Morocco. They either call it rammed earth or smashed earth, something like that. In essence, what you do, you get the earth and the soil from around where you're building, and then you get lots of hay and straw, and you mix it into a thick paste kind of mixture, and you literally just start placing it down where you want to build and start layering it up and condensing it as much as physically possible. So it gives this really rustic look. Here, for example, you can see all of the hay and the straw very clearly in the structure. So what it means when you come to a little village like this is that every building is exactly the same colour as the earth around it, because it's all been made with materials within a very small distance. So the colour of the earth is the exact same colour as the colour of the buildings. It's really nice. It means that you have no idea if the buildings are 10 years old or 200 years old. This is quite annoying. I woke up an hour ago to get the sunrise. That's when I started this video. And I've realised I was actually too early. Now is the most magical bit, when the sun's properly coming over those mountains. So we've had an hour, all of us, just each person going to a different room and looking at the sun, and then waiting at the pool and looking at the sun. And it's been this 1 hour glorious sunrise. So magical. Oh, it's a video as well, so... No, but that will be included, I promise you. This is going to be our longest day, about 330 kilometres. We'll stop in about an hour and a half for coffee and fuel. By 6:30 p.m. tonight, we're going to be in Merzouga, the sand dunes of Morocco. Big day today. By the time this video comes out on 6th of November, we're going to be, and I cannot believe it's already almost here, just 9 days away from the start of the UK's biggest annual motorcycle show and Europe's second biggest annual motorcycle show. It is, of course, the MCL 2025, formerly known as Motorcycle Live. I was there last year, and the selection of bikes, things on offer, places to eat, places to drink, motorbiking gear, it's almost unmatched. All of the latest and greatest brands and models of bikes there at your disposal to admire, and in some cases to test out as well. I remember last year, you just get to see brands and models that you didn't know existed again. I saw LIBERTATIA, and it was love at first sight as eyes met across a crowded showroom floor. And I knew immediately the second I saw that LIBERTATIA, I had to test it. So that's the exact reason I had that bike on a 2-week test. But so many incredible bikes I want to see this year. I want to know if Triumph's brand new 2026 lineup's going to be here. I want to see if Honda are bringing along their brand new CBF 1000. And I want to see if Norton have their brand new 2026 range of bikes. There's so much exciting stuff going on, and it's all under one roof. And it's not just bikes to look at and admire. On top of that, there are loads of different things going on around the event. It's almost got a festival kind of vibe. You've got motorbikes to test. You don't need to bring any of your biking gear. The MCL show will provide that, helmets and all of that. You can test out the new range from Suzuki, from Honda, from Triumph, from Indian, Royal Enfield, and some more that I've forgotten. And also, if you're looking to get into biking, they even have authorized instructors who can train you how to ride a bike, give you the basic training. All under one roof. It's incredible. It's up at the NEC Arena in Birmingham from the 15th to the 23rd of November. I will be there 100% bright and early on the 15th, Saturday the 15th of November, the very first day. So if any of you can make it, I would be over the moon to have a catch up with you and see you there. Cannot wait. The countdown begins. Never understand this. Petrol stations in Morocco, there's a specific line for motorbikes, but there are empty pumps on the other side, but all of the bikers have to wait in one line. And it means that if in our situation we've got 10 bikers, that's a very, very long queue. And we're looking at empty pumps the other side. Tell you what I'll do, I'll quickly show you another thing. We've got the real deal Land Cruiser here, Toyota. Right there, that is the proper full-blooded Land Cruiser. It's one of my favourite 4x4s. I love those. Swiss. God, that's an incredible looking vehicle. I'll just chill out. This is going to be 15 minutes, I'm sure. It's about 8:45 already. It's a searing heat. But I'll show you in a bit. Someone kindly lent me their tail pack, so I don't have to take a backpack at least. That's one good thing. That was a lovely little coffee stop. Probably actually about 40 minutes ended. We were chatting for so long. We're about to hit the road. First group's going to head off, and then we'll join behind. Lovely coffee stop. You just get to soak in the local culture of a little town
just with everyone going about their daily life. All the children out as well. I never understand what the standard school hours are here, because whatever time of day it is, there are always children just running about.
This is the area. We're going to try a bit of off-roading now. So, a few people lowering the tyre pressure. Little hint and tip section or segment from Jack here, just telling us a few ideas on how to cover ground decently off-roading. And then as far as the eye can see over here, sandy tracks. So excited. And also, what a view is this, with all of these bikes parked up here, just surrounded by desert. And it really is just complete desert here, just with a few straggly trees, no developments, nothing around, searing heat. I don't know how I'm going to cope here, because I'm not the finest off-roader. But the enthusiasm should get me through. So in essence, right now, this is our playground to get acquainted with it. We can go anywhere we like, front to back, left to right. Get a feel for the bikes. It's just a massive, massive playground here. Here we go. Good.
When in doubt, cross the line.
Yeah, okay. I know, easier said than done, but yeah, I know. What a way to spend the day. Just everyone around me practicing their off-road skills, point somewhere into the horizon and just ride off there, loop back any direction you fancy. What an unbelievable way to spend the day, and just right here in the middle of the desert. I've almost come off twice. Just managed to hold it. I think 2 people have come off so far, so I'm proud of myself that I haven't yet come off, but I don't hold my breath that I'm going to stay upright the whole time. Morocco is an overlanding heaven. And these are 2 perfect examples. 2 French Peugeot 205s, but massively modified, snorkels, race suspension, rally spec ready. That's incredible, isn't it? How cool is that? How cool are they? That's amazing. Yeah, I know, I noticed those as well. Yeah. And so Mercedes 190 as well, which in itself is brilliant. The standard Land Cruiser Prados, which are everywhere. And over here, there is a selection of of old motorbikes. I have no idea what these are. These are all on, well, in fact, some of these are on Spanish plates. Montesas, just realised. Got to be 30 Montesas or something like that. What a sight. I've been admiring all of these for so long, and more off-road 205s keep coming in that everyone's just left me, so I need to run inside, try and find the lunch spot through here. Ignacio's kindly told me these are all Montesas from Spain. These people here have ridden all the way from Spain, whether it's Valencia, Barcelona, etc., on their old Montesas. They've got a support vehicle there in case they break down, which they may well do. But everyone here will have ridden under their own steam from Spain. Never seen anything like it. This is the Portuguese prison,
yeah? Guerra Amador.
Do you know why it's called that?
Yeah, it's a dark story, but it's basically slave trade in Africa. So this is where the Portuguese would keep basically slaves from West Africa.
What?
Yeah, up in here, this was a big slave trading center.
Oh, kind of in this rough area, or?
Like literally up there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
As controlled by the Portuguese.
Yeah.
Whoa! We've been going for about an hour since lunch, and we've reached our next spot behind me. This seeming mound of earth right here, this is called the Portuguese prison. I wouldn't have guessed this as a piece of history. Bear in mind we're here in Morocco, not a million miles from the Algerian border. We're over on the east side of Morocco now. The reason it's called that is because this is where the Portuguese had a prison for African slaves, right here in front of us. I need to do some more research on this. I had no idea, for when the Portuguese were here, and they would have a prison specifically for African slaves right on that mound there. So that's where we're going to head next, off-road, maybe a mile into the distance. That's about as dark a history as you can get. Right now, the crazy Spanish riders on their little two-stroke bikes are somewhere up at the top. So we're just going to wait for them to come back down. And then we've got the whole road to ourselves to get up there. fascinating bit of history, though. Just so out there, in the middle of nowhere, the fact the Portuguese would decide to put a prison here. Wow. This is as eerie as it gets. In the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere, you come to this fortress made really specifically for punishment, with these huge walls. I don't know what the conversation would have been with the Portuguese when they built this, but it must have been something like, where is the most hell-like place we can dream up to put a prison or to put a slave camp, to make life as physically unpleasant as possible? Because even being out here in the sun for 10 minutes, I feel like I've got third-degree burns, and it's almost November. And that eeriness of these two huge mountainsides either side, with this brick wall built behind it, and I can see the wall extending all the way up. An impenetrable fortress. It is hellish, and to think that this was a slave camp here with the Portuguese soldiers guarding everyone, for example, it's unthinkable. We're right at the top here. You can see the entrance that we've just come at the bottom. I've done a bit of Googling. So 200 years ago, roughly, the Portuguese built this to hold all of the African slaves that would come over to Portugal. So this was almost the place that gathered the slaves, hold the slaves before sending them over to Portugal for the slave trade, for people to buy. There's no way. I mean, if you get out of here, if you're a slave, you're not surviving in the landscape around, because it's just arid desert with nothing around. And you can see even on the back wall here, the remnants of the old wall used to block this horse-shaped rock formation. The reality is 90% of this whole structure is just a natural U-shaped rock formation, and then the Portuguese just built walls to fill in the gaps. That's mind-blowing. That's the longest day done. You can see all of the bikes parked up in the corner. For the last hour of the ride, just after the Portuguese prison, you could just see the sand dunes of the Sahara over there. First bathed in pink and then bathed in a golden sunset. And we're staying in, Land Cruisers everywhere, we're staying in a very nice hotel which is down a dirt track. And they've got a really good theme here showing all of the different Hollywood blockbusters that have been filmed around this area. There's a group of Spanish riders just checking in there. Swimming pool to my left, just behind these trees, with a perfect view of the sand dunes. I'll show you that in a second. And here, all of the films that have been filmed here, everything from Lawrence of Arabia, The Hills Have Eyes 2, a bit of James Bond's Spectre. I had no idea, so many films here. The Mummy, Gladiator, of course, Prince of Persia, and Sahara. Morocco is a proper filmmaking spot here. They've got studios all around the area from Ouarzazate, and I'll quickly show you in here. Sorry about the lights, but a nice shell-out area. And my room
It's just through here. It's all set. That's how much I've been filming. My phone storage is full, so I just had to delete a whole load of stuff. Anyway, room 116. I'll flip the camera. I think, nice little chill out area in the corner, gigantic bed, just hung my stinking jacket, and I haven't even checked this yet. This may be, well, this is my little area if I want a cigarette, and there's the pool with the sand dunes just behind it. Right, I'm going to jump in.